It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, screening classic films as well. Directors and actors, beware as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And we got the Merman.
Yo.
Hey, Merman. How you doing?
Oh, ducky.
How's your finger skills?
My finger skills?
You know. Boing!
Oh, I'm on top of it.
All right.
All right. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Oh, thanks for been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And we'll watch it if it played anywhere in cinemas in the world and it's not a movie made for children. All right, let's get to raging.
I think Bryce's drugs are kicking in. Comes the clown music.
Clown nothing. What would the amazing Merman predict? What would the amazing Merman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict the mondo? Will he tell us all like Bryce and Jim saw at the movies? Here he comes swimming to you.
All right.
Merman predicts.
So yeah, you guys
Merman
saw at least 4 movies this week. And the big one, of course, for the weekend was
Civil War.
Which was a little less about war and more about other stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think given the action, you guys probably both gave it a rage.
What?
Yeah, just
Because there wasn't any action?
because there was very little action.
Oh.
No, there wasn't enough action, but there was a lot of talking.
Are we talking?
Except we
Sometimes I talk.
have Arcadian, the Nic Cage movie, which I saw with Jim.
Come out to play.
And yeah, it had a few problems. I think Jim might have given it a meh. And I think Bryce probably hated it because it was like a horror movie, but it wasn't. So I think he probably raged about it.
Oh, you don't love your Nic Cage today, Brycey.
And we have Wicked Little Letters.
I never loved Nic Cage.
Which-
You love Nic Cage.
What's wrong with you?
I saw Wicked Little Letters with Jim. We
Yes.
had a good time. It was enjoyable.
It
The
was.
2 old ladies and all their swearing. I think...
One old lady.
Ish.
Well,
She's middle-aged.
Jessie is no spring chicken either.
She's kind of a spring chicken.
She's springier, chickenier
very
than,
springier than.
than Olivia Coleman, who's middle-aged. She's probably my age, so shut up, you two.
There you go.
I still think Olivia Coleman's hot.
I think you guys both gave that a mondo because it seemed like it would be a good movie. Sting, which when I saw the trailer, is just your typical horror movie with bugs.
Arachnophobia.
Bryce doesn't like the horror
Big-ass
movies very
spider.
much, at least not the traditional kind. I think Bryce gave it a meh, and I think Jim might have mondoed it.
What?
And the last one, In Flames, which we didn't see, but Jim did. I think...
Didn't you love the trailer on this, though,
I
man?
didn't even watch the trailer. I watched like 30 seconds of the trailer and I was already zoned out. I'm like, yeah.
What?
But it looks like the kind of movie that Jim would like. So let's give that one a mondo too.
Okay. Do you think Bryce would have given it a mondo?
Probably. He stayed awake for it.
Hashtag Wienergate.
Wienergate. Whatever that means.
It's not a thing.
It's a total thing.
Must be.
No,
People
it's
ask
not.
me all the time, is this Wienergate again? How many times did Bryce fall asleep this week?
I fell asleep once this week. There you go. I always tell you if I fell asleep.
Unless
see
you forget
5
because
movies
you
a
fell
week and
asleep.
You go to movie at 10
No,
o'clock.
I know when I fall asleep in a freaking movie.
Hashtag Wienergate.
Whatever.
So, Civil War.
Civil War. What did tell us about Civil War, Bryce?
Huh?
The movie Civil War.
Which one was that?
It's the one by Alex.
Oh, that's the dystopian future thing.
It wasn't the North versus the South. I know that.
No, it was the what was it? The something forces against the something
Western
forces against
with the Florida
the
Alliance.
Eastern forces.
With the Florida Alliance.
And nobody in the middle, apparently.
Right. Wow, this movie, it wasn't the worst. There was a lot that I didn't mind in it. I liked
the Pleminator.
The Pleminator, yeah. Jesse Plemons was very good in it. You know what? His the amount that he was in it was probably perfect too. Cause
they should have had more of him.
Nah, you know what? I didn't need more of him. I just needed him to come in, blow me away. He almost did like a mic drop. It's like, bam. He's like, this is why I'm awesome.
You've been Plemond.
But
what kind of American are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
So Plemons was good. What else was good? There was something else. Is there anything else that was
Kirsten
good?
Dunst is actually as good as she's been in forever.
How about ever? She is as ever.
Yeah, Lee. My dog's eating a box. Stop eating a box, dude.
I wish I was eating a box.
Stephen Henderson is Sammy. He was awesome too, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good actors in this doing some good acting.
Yeah.
Movie rolled along. I enjoyed much of it.
And you didn't sleep in it. In this one.
Didn't fall asleep.
So this is not the sleeping movie.
No, this one I did not fall asleep in.
Okay. Now, I wasn't there to witness it.
Nick Offerman is the president. I just like Nick Offerman in anything.
Yeah.
And whether he's being like super funny or just super serious,
super dead.
He's actually just shown that he can pretty much do anything. I actually really enjoy Nick Offerman in most things that I see him. So
I don't think I've seen him where I haven't enjoyed him.
Alex Garland. I mean, it's hard to believe that. Same dude that did Men recently, then he comes around and does this, but I guess he's done some action before, but I don't know. This is kind of a weird one. I don't understand how this guy's only got 4 movies directed. He should be on his way to being undoubted, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like even this would still have him undoubted on mine with his 4 movies he's had. I think he's got like 3 Mondos and a meh.
3 Mondos and whatever you.
I'm giving this a meh.
Oh, okay then.
I don't know. I saw this so long ago. I'm tired.
I don't remember it.
It was like another lifetime ago.
We have Calgary Underground Film Festival coming up this week, and if you're tired off of last week, you're going to be I'm
dead. Not tired because of the movies. I'm tired because I went and emptied out a freaking house and went to Edmonton, which is horrible to begin with. That could
suck the life out of you any day.
Filled up 2 giant bins with just crap. Moving a freaking pool table, taking apart a pool table, and then the giant pieces of slate. That is not fun, man. Moving those out of a basement where the stairs are like straight up. No, it was someone else with me. But it sucked, man.
You're old.
Oh, I'm not young.
There you go.
I'm gonna come up on a half century later this year.
Yeah, well, so they're already there.
Yeah.
Hey Baxter, stop eating the box.
Yeah, he's gonna listen to you.
Nice.
All
right. Civil War by Alex. The Alex. The film about a pod of journalists making their way to interview the current president of the U.S. before he is killed. All the while, the entire country is torn into a civil war. That's the title of the film. Well, except by the sounds of things for Missouri and Colorado, because they are farmers.
In all those farm countries.
And
Nebraska, Kansas,
apparently
Indiana.
Pretend nothing is happening.
Yeah, the middle of the country doesn't care, apparently.
Middle America is too busy making vegetables. This slowly pulls you in to the reality of what it will or would be like if the U.S. was in a civil war. At no point do we get a political story about the Republicans or the Democrats. Neither do we know who is right and who is wrong. We just know it's a shitstorm in all the hot spots of the U.S., like Texas and Florida and Cali, and by Jeebus, of course, New York
City.
D.C. New York City? Let's pace.
They didn't mention Massachusetts in there, and they're like in the middle, so I don't know how that happened.
Well, they talked about North Carolina, South Carolina, so they would have had to get to.
Thing is, what I don't
Boston
get is
somehow.
they're like took them 4 or 5 days to make this journey, and it was like New York to DC. I thought they were like
No, they were
they
were somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah, they were
I
somewhere
thought they
else.
were in New York.
No,
they
because
all
it's not
met.
that far to get to.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, they were somewhere else. They were in Chicago, I think, actually.
Was it Chicago? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a bit further.
Yeah. In this, you really get the feels of the entire war through the lens that we would normally get to see, or I guess maybe we wouldn't get to see, but in this case, it's unfiltered view of what the war photographer that would normally be filtered by the networks. And we see our pod through every step of their journey. This film builds a story surrounding our 4 journalists, which are made up of the granddaddy of the community, played by Stephen McKinley Henderson, who plays Sammy, our grizzled photojournalist, played by Kirsten Dunst, who plays Lee, Wagner Mora, who plays Joel, and finally the mentee of the group, Kaylee Spaney, who plays Jessie. As the film progresses, we get a slow descent into the grimness not seen in many Hollywood films, especially about the state of war that we get, and especially how ugly it may even get in the US. And maybe we may even get there sooner than we maybe want to hope. There is plenty of gore and horror and quiet moments to reflect, but it builds to a sadness that carries a cloud of bleakness that I feel may be a little too bleak for most people to see. Of course, there is no amount of bleakness that is too much for moi. Just bring on the bleak. That's what my new motto. Bring on the bleak.
Sure.
Or grimness, sorrow. What else? Depression. Yeah, I like all those things.
I'm tired.
The scene where we meet Jesse Plemons is the peak of this.
Yep.
And we see that the two sides of whatever this war is has no hope in this new America, which is what kind of feels like in reality right now outside of this movie.
Yeah, it's a little
It
too
feels
close to reality.
it feels very divisive in the US right
Yeah.
now, and I feel sad for a lot of my friends that live there.
I feel sad for the whole country.
Yep. I'm not going to lie. The ending of this was pretty obvious pretty soon into the film. And when it comes, I also got to say I didn't find it all that satisfying. I did find the journey extremely satisfying. And as much as I was not super happy with how it ended, I still love this journey of dread and depression and anxiety-ridden people. It was Mondo. I love this film.
Wow.
Yep. Wow. Wait, you didn't even do a good enough. Come on, do it like the Wilson brother.
Like the Wilson.
Wow.
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 There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
I could not disagree with you more.
What?
I did not like this movie at all.
What?
It was not the movie I thought. Judging by the trailer, I thought it would be a little more action.
Was there just not enough Plemons in it for you?
There wasn't enough war. It's called Civil War. I didn't see anybody fighting.
Yeah, but that's what
That's
real
why
wars
it's
are
good.
like.
No, it's
You
not
get-
why it's good.
So-
Yeah, I have several problems with this.
What?
Um,
I had few, but I wouldn't
yeah,
say
well,
several.
not as many as me.
No.
The first one is, this Garland guy. I mean, he's a good actor or a good director and everything, but
He is.
he didn't explain anything.
That's
He
good.
didn't explain a damn thing about why
Yeah.
the war started, what
Why-
the sides were, what they were fighting over, at what point they were at in the war. Which
Did he
they obviously
really,
were.
did
They
he
were
really
out-
have to,
they,
though?
they didn't say how long the war had been going on because
Does
obviously
it
it was at the end.
matter?
It didn't explain anything, and I hate that. I hate the cloudy shit that I don't understand.
No.
Second problem I had was Texas and California
Yeah.
as allies. They could not be further apart politically.
Well,
and
right
morally.
now, but in this dystopian future.
I can't see one of those states switting the beliefs of basically the entire state.
Enemy of my
to
enemy is
agree
my
with somebody
friend.
else.
We don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense. And even my American friend that I talked to about this,
Mhm,
who was down there and actually was in politics, said, yeah, that would never happen. Those two states would never agree on anything.
Well, except
Florida, I don't know about, but yeah,
Florida.
Yeah,
and
this
Texas
wasn't
could
really
get
about one
together.
political party or another. I just need to know what they were fighting over, because it never explained it.
Yeah.
Well,
And the president basically bull-faced lied, which isn't a new thing. But
That's pretty much what all they do.
But yeah, his speech at the beginning of the movie was, yeah, we have a major victory over the Western forces, and they're about to surrender.
Yeah.
And it was the complete opposite of that.
Yes.
And the third problem I have
What?
is he had no help. He had no army, no military, no nothing. The
They all
president of
walked
the United
out on
States
him. They walked
had
out on him.
a handful of Secret Service people protecting him.
At the end.
And basically they walked up into the White House. They had no resistance. I'm like, really?
Well, they talked about that. They talked
no,
about it
that
in the
was
movie.
ridiculous,
They
too.
they said that they walked off their
and
jobs.
then we got the whole journalist press thing. It's like, I don't watch a lot of war movies. I don't watch a lot of news.
No.
But I find it really hard to believe that the press has complete immunity and invincibility from getting shot at.
So-
they can just wander around behind soldiers.
That
and
was
nobody
obviously the
shoots.
agreement.
But it wasn't, because
Well,
they
you
almost
mean it wasn't?
because
They
they almost
didn't
got
shoot 'em.
killed. Because they
Well,
almost got killed.
It is one of those things in war in general. Like, they don't try and shoot
No,
the
They don't
press.
shoot the press.
Journalists get captured all the time.
They do, but
They do.
but not when there's an actual war on. That's why you have war journalists. They go over there.
Yeah, but they're not exempt from getting shot at. They just are
They-
smart enough not to get right behind the soldiers.
yeah.
They usually stay out of, like, these guys were falling right behind the soldiers, and they were crossing in front of gunfire.
That's actually
war
what happens.
journalist.
And that's a war journalist.
I didn't buy it.
Okay, well.
And then the last issue I had was the young girl who just hitched a ride.
Yep.
Like her first assignment ever, and she had a camera older than me. Like, it was a camera that I literally used when I was in junior high 40 years ago.
Yep.
Developed her own film. It was all black and white.
Yes.
And everybody else has got digital stuff they're uploading.
That's right.
And she's using an old school
And
film camera.
Wasn't she resourceful because she had her
Well, she didn't have a
materials
choice,
there?
I guess.
Eh,
And her,
good
and
for
her parents just let her go off. They were at a farm in
Well, she's like in her
Missouri,
20s. She
and
wasn't.
They
She
just
was
let
like.
her go off and cover the war.
She's like 25 years old.
Yeah, but if I was her parents, I'd be scared to death that she could get killed.
I don't know. Were
Because
you
war is hell.
Were you telling your mom what you were doing at 25?
No, I didn't have to, because I didn't go into war zones.
She probably thought the city of Calgary was a war zone for you, Murray.
When I was 25, I was living with her. Put it that way. Yeah, no, I didn't really enjoy this movie. It didn't have enough action, not enough war. It was just a lot of people driving around in a suburban. And I'll say one more thing about this, which you guys are not going to agree with, but Olympus Has Fallen was a much better movie.
Oh my
Oh my God. That's got to be one of the
That's-
worst
I
movies I've ever
enjoyed that a
seen.
lot more than I enjoyed this piece of crap.
You could not have.
We've been further from the truth.
So
That
yeah,
is-
this was a raid.
Olympus Has Fallen is probably one of the
like,
worst
that
movies
might
ever made.
that might end up in the old rage bed.
Not by me, it
Fact.
won't. 'Cause I know better than to give you guys a Gerard Butler movie.
You know
Because
what?
I like Gerard Butler.
Remember, Gerard Butler has a scale now.
Yeah,
for Bryce.
now I rate things on the Gerard
Yeah,
Butler
obviously
scale.
that's not.
It's the Gerard Butler curve,
Yeah,
actually.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Need to get it right.
but if you're gonna storm the White House, that's the way you do it, not the way this was done. Anyway, yeah, I hated it. It was
Yeah.
rage.
Well, you're not a photojournalist.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I was at
it
one
was
point.
Mondo. I loved it.
There you go.
All right. Well, apparently we're all in disagreement about it.
Yeah, kidding.
But you know what? What that means is Alex Garland, Garfield, Garland has to now make 8 more movies.
Yeah.
Oh Christ.
Yep. So Murray just kiboshed his chances of being undoubted.
Ooh.
Thanks, Murray.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right. Well, let's talk about Arcadian,
Arcadian.
which I thought was going to be a movie about.
Nicolas Cage.
No, it was about somewhere on the east coast of Canada. Aren't they Arcadians up
They
there?
are. Acadians.
That's Arcadian.
that what they are?
Oh, so what's an Arcadian?
I don't know. Is that where you play video games?
I don't. Maybe. Bryce is going to look that up.
Sure.
So, if you're going to have an apocalyptic end of the world where monsters that come at night, well, they mostly come at night, then no better man for the job but Nic Cage and his 2 baby boys, bouncing baby boys. What I liked about this movie is that you really don't get to see the monsters for the most part of the film. So it builds a very effective suspense with some great jump scares, some scary suspense scenes, and a great cast, especially the one boy, Jaden Martell, who also happens to be one of my favorite little actors on the planet. In fact, there's nothing he's been in that I have not loved. In fact, we may have to put... Well, we can't because he did It 1 and It 2. So they were both meh. So I guess he's never going to be undoubted. But he's going to be pretty mesmerizing in a few years. I'm going to say that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So he plays Joseph, the brilliant younger brother of the two brothers. And the other might be smart, but he's too preoccupied with what I like to call end of the world pussy from the neighbor girl down the street who happens to live on the adjacent farm. Ultimately, this comes with the same tropes of apocalypse monster movies, where we build the story to a crescendo of confrontation, and as our daddy hero, or Dada...
It's me.
It's Dada.
It's Dada.
Nic Cage does so well, he has to sacrifice himself a few times for his boys to survive.
He does.
It was an effective story. The monsters were fun, and the E.T.-like long, stretchy fingers and the chompity, huge mouth monsters, but nothing too original here. I liked it. I had a few questions about it, how they were living maybe for 15 years with monsters, so I liked it a lot. It was meh. I got some unpacking, but what you think?
I did see this with you.
You did?
Unfortunately, it was on a Saturday night
What?
in a packed theater. So,
It was packed?
of course, well, our theater wasn't, but the building in general was
It
packed.
was.
Because it was a Saturday night.
We had to
It's
line up for 20 minutes
it was
for
date
popcorn,
night.
and Murray was very upset.
And there are
about
lots of teenagers, and I don't like teenagers, especially in horror movies, because they can't shut their damn mouths. They got to make fun of everything,
They gotta
which
be
is what happened with this
stupid.
one. And as you mentioned, the not seeing the monsters and then seeing the monsters, that's usually where the problem lies.
What?
When they start showing the monsters is where the problem
That is.
When you don't see them, it's scary as hell.
Yes.
There were a few jump scares there when I didn't know what was happening, but when they started showing the, I don't know, it was like a half werewolf, half, I don't know, spider, something.
Werewolf.
Or other, with like a long arm.
Iguana.
I don't know, but yeah, it was mostly a
something
wolf type creature.
with a chompy
The
mouth.
chompy, big,
You know who
Venus
they look
flytrap
like?
mouth. But
From the Yellow Submarine. They kind of look like those things
I
from
don't know
the
what
Yellow
that is.
Submarine, but more wolfy.
the Beatles?
No, there was the monsters from Yellow Submarine.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it was okay. I had some problems. I mean, again, they didn't really explain a whole lot.
Yes.
And the kids go from
Which is awesome.
0 to 15 in like
Yes.
10 minutes. Doesn't say what they were doing for those
Like
15
2 seconds,
years.
because it just went.
And yeah, the one kid was totally awesome. I've loved him since like St. Vincent. He's a really talented young actor.
He's super
The other
talented.
guy was a dumbass. And
He's-
yeah, controlled by his hormones, and he did stupid
He's
things.
Pussy
And
galore.
he should have died in the first 10 minutes because he did so many
What?
stupid things
What?
that something should have got him killed.
But it
But
didn't.
again, Nicolas Cage had to save his ass like
That's
10
right.
times. At risk to his own body, and I don't know how he survived because I thought he.
But
died.
did he survive? That's the
don't know.
question.
Anyway.
You're all gonna have to see this movie to find out.
Apparently, but yeah, no, I mean, and I also had a problem with where the farm the girl was living at. I mean, it was just a creepy place in general, like full of farmhands.
Shiftless
And
farmhands.
apparently, they had a whole field full of sheep that apparently were untouched by these creatures. So apparently, they don't like the taste of sheep. I don't know,
You know
what the
what?
deal is.
Maybe they're vegan.
And up until towards the end, the monsters didn't go anywhere near this farm. I'm like, okay, how's that possible? Everybody else is getting terrorized, but these guys aren't.
Maybe they're
What's
afraid
the
of
secret?
sheep.
They didn't explain that either.
I don't know that they weren't, because they were still locking up at night and everything. Like,
I
They
didn't see
have
any,
the
I didn't see any
same
bars on the windows.
They didn't have the same level of effort.
The bars, the windows
Nikki
they're
Baby
open.
had.
There were no boards. There was no
But
bars.
they did talk about that in the movie because they had said that their farm really
But they didn't
wasn't
explain
affected.
why. They just said it wasn't unaffected. It didn't
It's
say
because
why.
of the sheep. It's obvious.
Yeah, sure.
Space monsters and
Yes,
sheep. They
space
just
monsters hate sheep.
They're afraid of sheep.
It's like that
Yeah.
other movie where the aliens are afraid of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going to give away which
So-
one because in case you haven't seen it, that was 30 years ago. I'm not going to give those spoilers.
Well, you can give a spoiler. It's 30. We're giving spoilers
But
right
anyway,
now, and this movie just came out.
yeah, it had some decent action, but and when the monster thing, when the smart kid You thought it was about to get eaten because he's sitting there in the chair sleeping.
Yes.
And he left
I
the
like that
freaking
scene.
door open.
It was a great scene.
And then the monster figures a way to open the lock.
Yes.
And then stretches his finger out.
Yes.
People behind us started laughing their asses off.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
And other people just left like 10 minutes after that, so they obviously couldn't handle the rest of the movie.
They're dumb.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they were
those people are
teenagers, so
they're known as
anyway.
dumb.
But yeah, like I enjoyed it
dum-dums.
before they started showing the monster. I enjoyed it.
Okay, so what does that make it?
It was a meh.
All right.
It was all right.
It's funny how meh
Not
is
enough
such a
Nic
broad.
Cage, is my opinion.
It's funny how meh is such a broad topic for us.
It is.
It can go to be like, I almost hated it, to I almost loved it, which is a big band. There's different levels of meh, other than just low meh, and high meh. What do you think?
Of Arcadian?
Yes.
Yes.
First,
It was
the
meh.
question.
first of all, Arcadian is relating to or constituting.
Constituency?
I can't
Use
talk.
your book words here.
You're a book boy.
Constitute. I can't talk today.
You can do it. What is it? Sound it out.
It's basically an
Sounds
ideal
like-
rural paradise. It's like it's ideal. It's perfect. That's what Arcadian is.
And that wasn't this movie.
It's not constituency. It's
No.
conscription.
I don't know.
It's constipation.
It's
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
It was constipated.
At any rate, I don't understand why the creatures took so long to figure out they could just burrow from underneath.
Because
And
they're
open- and
from
open doors,
space.
too,
I
apparently.
didn't understand why Nic Cage was coloring his hair in this situation. There's no need for him to, because he's obviously got that is not his natural hair color.
He was wearing a wig. Like,
I don't
it's
think
obvious.
he wasn't wearing a wig.
He's-
why,
he's-
why is he wearing a wig
Well,
then?
Because he had.
He's like
he had,
80 years old. He probably
had-
has gray hair by now.
He had cancer treatments on his head. No, he had cancer treatments, and then he lost his hair, and that's why he's wearing a
grew back a
wig.
different
Like, what
color.
is wrong with you? Who cares?
Exactly. Who cares?
No.
It's like Murray being confused about Argyle because she was too heavy to be a superhero.
Yeah,
and
that's-
you're
I
going
have no
talking
problem
about
with being
his-
heavy. The problem I have is her being skinny 2 weeks later.
Well, because the movie and the release is different things.
Yeah.
He had. Who cares? His hair was
Yeah,
different.
I didn't like that.
I
Well,
wasn't wearing a hat most of the time anyway.
You know what? I fell asleep.
Of course you did.
But I didn't sleep for
That's what happens
long.
when the movie's at 10
I saw
o'clock at
most
night.
of
what
it.
part do you remember to, and then what part do you remember waking up to?
I think I.
Do you remember them falling into the crevice?
Yeah.
Okay. So was that before or after you slept?
I think I slept a little after that.
Okay.
Because it
And
was all
then-
dark.
And then did you see him go? He left his brother and went to be with the family with the
Yeah.
sheep.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Was it sleep after that or before that?
No, I slept after that.
Oh, so it was
I
like right near
made
the
through.
end.
I made it through most of the movie.
So it was like right near the end.
Yeah, I was right near the end.
Oh, okay.
So I like Jaden Martell in this as Thomas. He was really good.
He's brilliant.
I
He's the best little actor going right now.
like. There were a couple scenes. It's actually the scene that Murray described with the finger and the whole deal. I thought that was actually one of the better scenes. in the
Nothing
movie.
better than fingering
when-
monsters.
when he
It
when he
looked really
catches when he
cheesy.
catches the monster. I thought that was actually really well done.
No,
I
yes,
enjoyed
the
that
monster
scene.
when the monster attacked was fine. It's just the slow moving
Creepy
of
finger?
the creepy finger coming.
It was
that's
so
good
cool.
stuff. It was building
All
the
I'm saying
suspense.
is people started laughing, so obviously they thought it was funny.
I was
They
in
were
the theater and
stoned, Murray.
nobody laughed. So
I didn't laugh. You didn't laugh.
No,
I
I
don't
thought
know.
it was ridiculous. I didn't laugh. I was loud, but I thought it was kind of stupid.
It was awesome.
Anyway,
It was like E.T.
you're making
A
me
bigger
want to
finger.
Mondo this, Murray, but it was
for
meh.
it.
Okay, well, you know what that means? We don't get this very often.
What's that?
We got 3 mehs.
Did we?
Yeah, we
I
do.
thought you mondoed it.
No, I gave it a meh.
No.
Huh.
Yeah. Wow. Doesn't happen very. Wow, we all agreed, but all for different
one
reasons.
movie,
But
different reasons.
for all different reasons.
Yeah.
All right, so we also saw Wicked Little Letters.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember.
Which
Okay.
we're supposed to see.
I
a
took
few
my
weeks
mom
ago.
to this one.
That's right.
I was-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in.
It's old lady swearing. What mom wouldn't like that?
That's right.
There's
Well,
one old lady swearing.
No, they were both swearing. Well, okay.
The other one's
swearing.
not an old lady. She's like in her 30s.
Okay, well, some of the old men were swearing too. Put it that way.
there's a lot of old and there's a lot of not
A lot
old.
of swearing.
So Murray, what did you think of Wicked Little Letters?
Well, I have to describe
You've got a lot to think about it, I'm sure.
Okay, well, I have to go back. Give me a second. I think I have to describe it too.
Oh, your name is on the list for description.
But I never have to intro stuff. So Wicked Little Letters, which stars Olivia Coleman and Jessie Buckley.
Jessie Buckley.
Takes place in England,
I really like Jessie
1920s,
Buckley.
where women basically had no rights. They couldn't do anything.
They couldn't
Or
vote.
Her kid couldn't even play the guitar. Apparently, that wasn't allowed either. I never got that. But
Well, no, she could. It's just.
no, it wasn't allowed.
No, it was allowed. It was just,
Frowned upon.
No, it wasn't even frowned upon. It's just it wasn't ladylike.
Anyway, Jessie Buckley, of course, comes
Same.
from Ireland, and she's full of.
Piss and vinegar.
I was gonna say vigor, but full of that. And
Potty
she doesn't
mouth.
really care if she offends and likes to drink and
Just
swear
like
and
the
have a good
Irish.
time.
Gotta love 'em.
And she has a daughter, and
Nice.
she lives next door to Olivia Coleman, who is this lady with a bug up her ass who basically lives at home in her 40s.
She's got
with her
Dada
parents.
issues.
She has major issues. But she's an old spinster. She's living at home and her 50 years old. So she doesn't like this. It's carrying on. And of course, she starts getting these letters with obscene words in them, which in the 20s you don't really hear.
No.
And her neighbor gets blamed for it and put on trial for it. And there's a lot of swearing in this movie. But it's funny because the old lady.
You mean Olivia Coleman, who's middle-aged?
Middle-aged. The middle-aged woman, the spinster.
Mm-hmm.
Even the letters. It's like somebody who knows the swear words but doesn't know how to use them properly.
Yes.
It's like a kid who first discovers bad words and just throws them out in
That's
random
right.
order.
Yep.
So that's the funny part in it. But
That's pretty funny.
yeah, what did I think? I didn't know I was going to like this because I wasn't originally going to go to it.
You weren't.
We were supposed to have a screening of it a few weeks ago. We didn't go to that.
No, we did not.
And I had there were some mediocre reviews of it. I thought maybe it wasn't that funny. I was wrong. Wicked Little Letters, incredibly funny, cheeky. It definitely put a smile on my face. It was funny as hell. Both lead actresses were amazing in it. Some of the other they were okay. I mean, it was a nice little story, and I love my British comedies.
That's how I almost convinced you to go originally.
Yeah, well, the main reason I went is because you were going to go by yourself. Friends don't let friends go to movies by themselves.
That's right.
So
They
I
don't.
Oh,
agreed to
please
go.
let me go to movies by
But
myself.
then, because I didn't want to see the other movie,
That's the only way to watch a movie.
Because you went to Civil War without me, I had to see Civil War after this one.
That's
so I
right.
went to that by myself. But whatever. Wicked Little Letters was awesome. Olivia Coleman's never been better, and it was a mondo.
All
Wow.
right.
Mondo.
Mondo, baby. Brycey, what'd you think of Wicked Little Letters, which
Oh,
you got to see with your mommy?
Yeah, I don't go
Mommy.
second. That's not something I do.
It is.
don't
It's
do
it's
second.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We got too many movies. You go
If I have
second.
to
I don't
intro,
go
you have to go
second.
You do. You do today, and that's what the rule is. Get going.
But I don't go second.
Doesn't matter.
now.
You do today. Let's have it.
I don't like going second.
Well,
Too bad.
Too bad. You didn't like going first either. It's your turn.
No, I do like going first.
Yeah. Well, now
Then
it's
you
your
should've
second.
went
But
first.
I don't really remember this movie.
You don't
Okay,
remember this
well,
movie?
that's okay.
I remember Olivia Coleman and Jessie Buckley were pretty good in it.
You remember your mom was there
Yeah,
with you?
I took my mom.
Did you and your mom hold hands through the movie?
Why would we hold hands during the movie?
Just
Have you ever
for
sat?
compassion.
Have you ever gone to a movie with your mom and held her hand?
Yeah.
Did she
'cause
explain to you what the
for-
No,
what
you
some of the-
have
Did
not.
she explain to you what some of the bad words meant?
No.
'Cause I know you're so clean cut. You don't swear.
Does your mom
so-
swear more than you do?
Probably.
I love
But
your mom.
she doesn't swear barely at all. But yeah, I would say that swears come out of her mouth more than me.
That's just another reason why I love your mom so much. Her
Uh,
filthy mouth.
Yes. Yeah, story of Edith and what was it, Rose?
Sounds right.
Sure.
And, they start as friends.
Well, they started as acquaintances.
I'd say they actually become friends. I would say that Edith definitely looks up to Rose in a strange way, and Rose brings some stuff out of her that she was always there, but she
Pent
never
up. She had pent up.
So she was able to express herself a little more. But then once, and that's what I think the genesis of this was the fact that she met this person that, while she always kept all this stuff private, and she had her little scrapbooks and everything where she wrote all her naughty words and everything. The fact that she encountered this free spirit in Rose brought her to the point where she could actually get that stuff out there, and actually that's why these letters started, I believe, is because finally that was unleashed, and she's like, okay, I'm unleashing this on the world.
That's
now.
right. People
That's right.
can suck my dick.
But yeah, I mean, really, really well acted. Lots of like literally laugh out loud moments in this. Really quite enjoyable. At the end of the day, it was meh.
All right.
By the way, it makes me want to watch Thea Sharrock's other movie, which I had no intention of like going to or watching, because she released like 2 movies this year.
Oh, what was the other one?
The other one's called The Beautiful Game, and it has been released elsewhere. Actually, maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's only had festival releases.
Yeah, I don't. Think
I know it's been shown, but
not in our city, not in our fair city. We would have saw it.
It's got Bill Nye in it.
Oh,
and,
so she knows how to build a cast, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but it looks. I mean, just based on this movie, now I kind of want to watch that. But
me too.
I kind of went off on a tangent there.
You're doing your circle now, the Bryce circle.
Yeah, maybe I should watch her other movies too. She's only got 4 of them.
What's another way you could say that?
Okay, let's
I don't even know what that means.
Well, let me talk about Wicked Little Letters.
Okay.
So the first and foremost, most important thing to know here is no, I did not fall asleep in this movie.
Neither did I.
But I did not get to see all of the movie because just as before we were about to go into the movie.
Oh yeah, right.
So before we go into it, I get a panicked call from my wife who had a panicked emergency at home. So I had to get from one end of the city to the other end of the city, and we were about 15 minutes before our movie started.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, I did not get to see the very beginning, but
that's okay
because
your good friend Murray acted it out for you.
Stayed in the theater and acted out every single role. It was fantastic, and he even did some pirouettes when he was doing his best.
And
Olivia
I did
Coleman.
accents and everything.
He did. His Irish accent.
Irish was spot on.
Spot on. It's like the Queen's English. Oh wait, she's not the Queen of Ireland. So we have 2 powerhouse women in a curse battle for the ages. Jessie Buckley threw everything she had at the great and powerful Olivia Coleman in this very character-driven period piece biopic. Like most British biopics that had its moments of humor, and it was well written, and the characters are deep and interesting. Coleman, who is an old marm who lives with her abusive Dada, and super Christian-y, who diminishes her at every turn. And through his abuse, Coleman finds a release for her pent-up rage, which I loved, by the way, by writing terribly crafted but well-written cusses to her neighbors, and just happens to frame Buckley in the process. There isn't much of a surprise in this as to who is guilty.
Yeah, no, I knew it's from the start.
Yeah, right from the start, you kind of know it's Olivia Coleman. Although they try for a while to disguise who the poison pen is.
Yeah.
I like the dialogue, which was quick and crafted, and these 2 powerhouse actors are joined by Anjana Vasan, who plays the 3rd main lead actress.
Female officer.
Yep, for this film, who also does an amazing job.
She did. She was funny.
I laughed a lot of this. I love the story, so until I see the remaining 1/4 of this film, which is the beginning of it, the 3/4 of this movie that I saw was Mondo. So yeah, I love this film. It was funny. I laughed all the way through it. Jessie Buckley was amazing.
She was.
And Olivia Coleman, anything she's in, I don't think that she can pick a bad movie.
I sat there when she started flying loose with the swear words. I'm like, that's Olivia Coleman? Like, wow. That was some nasty language.
Yeah.
Stuff that I didn't even know.
Well, that's back in the 1920s, Murray.
Apparently. No.
Maybe there's words we don't use anymore.
Maybe, but no, I know a few of them, but it's like I never heard that many used all at once. I mean, and I used to watch Eddie Murphy all the time.
You know what I liked about Eddie Murphy is he liked to stick G.I. Joes in his bum.
Yeah, well. Anyway, yeah,
right,
no,
Bryce?
there was a lot of language in this one, but it was like it was funny.
Eddie Murphy?
Eddie
G.I.
Murphy.
Joe's in his bum?
Oh, yeah.
Bryce is falling asleep again. Hashtag Wienergate.
Wienergate.
Okay, the next movie we're going to talk
move
about
on.
is Sting. Bryce, tell our
Every
listeners
breath you
about
take.
Sting.
Oh, that's Sting.
And then a big brown shark.
Was it
came,
a documentary about Sting?
And G.I. Joe got stuck. And G.I. Joe got stuck in the water.
Anyway, go.
Sting.
Sting is not a documentary about the singer who
Or the
founded
police.
the police.
No.
No. It's about a space spider.
Space Spider. Sounds like a David Bowie album.
So young Charlotte, 12-year-old Charlotte, finds a space spider, decides to make it her pet, and then, as typically what happens when you try to make a space spider your pet, things tend to go wrong.
Shit goes wrong.
I was expecting, I'll be honest, I was expecting to hate this movie, but then when the credits were starting and all of a sudden it's like Screen Australia, I'm like, okay, well, Australia kind of gives us good stuff, so maybe this isn't going to be so bad. And you know what? It wasn't. It was very, very entertaining. Young Aaliyah, I think it's Aaliyah Brown as Charlotte. She was very, very good. But honestly, the movie was kind of stolen by the supporting cast. We'll start with the guy that didn't quite steal the movie, but Jermaine Fowler as Frank the Exterminator was fantastic in this. And this movie is worth watching just to see Robin Nevin as Gunther and Noni Hazelhurst as Helga. They are sisters, and they make this movie so freaking entertaining. Helga's, suffering from Alzheimer's, and she just keeps on calling the Exterminator over and over again. Just so good, and the way that they play on her is, something will happen, and then of course she forgets about it, and and some horrible things will happen, and she doesn't know. But
she's safe because she's wearing a mothball-ridden sweater.
But she's safe because she's and mothballs. Apparently, these spiders do not like.
These aliens are afraid of mothballs.
That's right, not
they
sheep.
Are.
Wow.
In fact, not only are they afraid of them, they actually
else.
they do some damage to them.
Some bad damage.
But I was surprised. Like I was, the special effect. The spider looked good. The special effects for the most part were quite good. The gooiness was good. There's lots of gooiness. You can't go wrong with a little gooiness, especially
Super
when
goo.
it's in a horror movie. I didn't know that I could enjoy a movie about space spiders quite as much as I did. This was so much better than I thought it was going to be. And once again, Gunther and Helga just steal the movie. Those two alone make this movie so entertaining. I really enjoyed it. It was a meh.
Okie dokie. That's a really enjoyable meh. All right, well.
And I stayed awake through the whole thing.
He did, actually.
Which I was surprised by because I was tired. But this movie perked me up.
Yeah, and then you were able to almost stay
And then
awake
Arcadian
for
I almost made it through.
Almost.
But it was like approaching midnight, and it's like, man, I've been up since 5 a.m. I was just coming home from
hasn't been?
Edmonton where I was
Who hasn't been up
working
since
my
5?
behind off.
Yeah.
So I fell asleep at the end of Arcadian.
It's true, you no longer have a behind.
Yeah, what happens, by the way? What is that with as you get older, your bum just disappears?
A saggy bottom.
I used to have the most
Sure.
glorious giant butt. It was the
Juicy
type of
and
thing where
ripe.
people would literally, they couldn't keep their hands off it. Like strangers would come up and they're like, "Please, can I grab your butt?" And
Well,
I'm
I
like-
remember the first time
and I'm
I
like,
grabbed your butt.
I understand because it was glorious. I had a glorious butt. But then now that I'm like approaching 50, I got a back and it goes right into the back of my thighs. There's no butt. It's gone.
You're buttless.
It's very
true.
depressing.
When I look at you, you're like a
I used-
shadow of your former
I
self.
never needed a belt because my butt would hold my pants
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
And now I got to cinch that belt up because there is nothing holding my pants up.
Yeah, it's just like nothing.
I'm
It's
sorry,
true.
what were
People, yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking
don't
about
remember
the movie
anymore.
Sting. So this film starts with what could be the best 5-minute prologue ever created in a horror movie, with, as Bryce mentioned, Helga.
Oh, Helga's so good.
And her well-managed Alzheimer's, where she calls out a few exterminators to solve an infestation problem she's having.
There's something in the walls.
Although we do not know what yet. We just know
No.
there's something in the walls.
Yeah, that was so good.
Then after the prologue, we get a story about a CLF who's basically a serial killer in the making, who finds a space spider, takes great joy in feeding it till it becomes a killing machine throughout the entire building. But before that, we get introduced to some of the funniest and funnest, if funnest is a word, but I don't think it is, cast of characters. We get a homemade scientist who's curing cancer in his kitchen with
he
fish.
was so good.
We get an old German aunt
Eric.
that is super bitch, who also is the sister of my new love, Helga,
Helga.
who I love dearly.
Gunter's good.
Right from the
but
very
Helga's
first
awesome.
second, I was like, I love this woman. And Bryce just looks at me and goes, yeah, who doesn't?
She's the best.
From the first scene, we also get Frank, our exterminator.
Yeah, he's so good.
Everybody in this movie was brilliant.
Yeah.
This whole cast was fun, and their backstories made this funny. It doesn't drag, or sorry, it does kind of maybe drag a little bit as the spider grows, but the story is super predictable. But the trip we go along was so entertaining.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's all predictable. Like nothing in this movie, you're gonna watch it and go, "Oh wow, I didn't see that coming."
The movie's not going to change your life, Jim,
No,
but it will entertain you for 90 minutes.
it was fun. I would see this in theaters. I think of all the spider movies I've seen, this is probably the best. Because you know what they say, if it's made in Australia, good day, mates.
Good day, mate.
Throw another mat on the Barbie.
Yes.
It's least watchable. I've yet to watch an
it's-
Australian movie
oh,
that's
it's
not at least watchable.
Very watchable and very entertaining.
It
Like,
wasn't. What was the one with the arm wrestling demon movie?
Arm wrestling
Talk to me.
demon movie.
Talk to me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
that was an Australian film too,
Yeah.
right? But it was Mondo, so
Yeah.
you know, it
Yep.
can't always be Mondo.
No.
This is definitely worth seeing in cinemas. I'm gonna 100% say that.
Yep.
You should see this in cinemas.
So
Should.
you want to give that a meh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, man.
fun. It like you can't give a movie like this a Mondo because there's nothing really original.
There's
about
nothing original.
Sounds like you loved
It's
everything
just
about it.
very well done. It's very entertaining, but
Yeah.
it's not Mondo.
it. Yeah,
But
it was fun.
but you should absolutely go see it.
Yeah, I agree. It was, in the classification of the meh world, it's a high meh
Yeah.
because I laughed
As did I.
and I was in love with Helga.
I also love Helga. I
And who
love
doesn't love
Gunter.
Space Fighter? Yeah, Gunter's good too.
I didn't love her
I
as
love
much
her.
as Helga.
No, nobody's.
But when Gunter and Helga were both on screen together, that's
Oh,
gold.
That was solid gold. If it was just them, it could have been a Mondo.
They actually need a prequel where we just gotta, and it
The
has
two of
nothing
them.
to do with spiders or anything.
No.
Just Gunter and Helga, man.
Living together,
Yeah,
like Gone Wild or something.
yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, the last film that we saw. Oh wait, it wasn't we saw.
wasn't we?
It
I
was
couldn't see
I
it because
saw.
I was in Edmonton.
It was playing in 2 cinemas
It wasn't
in
playing
all
in
of
Edmonton.
Canada.
Oh.
It was playing in Calgary,
Yeah.
and it was playing in Toronto.
I was in neither of those places.
You were in
It's playing
neither of those
Calgary
cities.
in the theater that's about to close.
That's right.
And then on Monday night when I could have seen it, it wasn't, playing. And then on Tuesday night I worked, so I couldn't see it then because it was only playing at one time.
That's right.
So I just couldn't see it. I wanted to.
Well, this movie was the Pakistan's submission to the Oscars for Best Foreign Language Film.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, this film. Our lead, Miriam, played by Rameshah Nawal, lives in a society ruled by misogyny and cultural disparity for women, where she is called a whore and attacked for being outside alone driving a car, and lives with her brother and mother. at a time where her grandfather, the patriarch of the family, had recently died after an extended health battle, which had made the family penniless and prey, not as in P-R-A-Y, but P-R-E-Y, to the vultures that are the male family members that live inside their family. All the while, Miriam is trying to go to school to become a doctor. So far, you can see this is a pretty rich story, and I'm not even just touching the surface here. Meanwhile, she starts falling for a young Canadian man returning to Karachi after attending school in Canada. I don't think we got to know what city, but I'm guessing it was Calgary. Sure, why not?
Why not?
As much as there is bleakness in her life, there appears to be hope with a newfound love. Soon after a courting period, they decide to take a romantic drive to spend time at the beach. And this is where shit really hits the fan. He dies in a motor crash, and things go from bleak to horrible as she leaves him at the crash site in the middle of nowhere and soon becomes haunted by the grief and horror of the whole experience. But all the while, she is also trying to survive past traumas that continue to resurface. This story is so complex and full of dread and injustice and fear, but also of love, the love of her mother that will stop at nothing to bring Miriam out of the darkness and into the light by all means necessary, including out of the flames. Huh? See what I did there? This had elements of mental health, abuse, injustice, disparity of racial division, and a family that together find healing from their past, and Miriam finally finds peace from her ghosts that haunt her. This film was captivating, and the cinematography was brilliantly shot, and I loved every single frame of this film. I can't even explain everything that this film deals with, but it is a feast for your senses and for your soul. This movie was the best movie I saw this last week. It was Amondo. I absolutely love this film. There's moments in this that you kind of think, okay, is this like supernatural? Because her dreams and her hauntings from her past, and I don't really want to tell what happens from her past, but there's a lot of deep-seated family issues that go on top of all these other layers. Like there's just so many layers to this story, and it's just every single frame as it went forward. And it wasn't a long film. Like it wasn't like 2.5 hours long, but I could have sat and watched it for 2.5. This film was so good. So good. You're going to be sad you didn't see it. And why it didn't get...
I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere.
It was better than Zone of Interest, I can say that.
Wow. I will be watching it eventually.
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
Yes, I will. Do, 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 do,
oh, baby.
Do. All right. Well, I actually had something I was into a couple weeks ago.
What?
This week, I want to give some love to my second favorite Ryan.
Olivia
and
Coleman?
my favorite baby goose. That's right, the Gosling.
Gos?
He was on SNL last weekend, and while he lost it several times during the live sketches, he still delivered. It was proof that he could make even that untalented cast look good. Thankfully, Kate McKinnon and Emily Blunt were there to help him. He got his start on TV, on Young Hercules.
Nice.
And Breaker High. A high school on a cruise ship? What?
Sounds stupid.
Since then, he has delivered one mesmerizing performance after another. Here are some of my favorites.
Let's hear it.
In no particular order. Lars and the Real Girl.
It's a good one.
Gosling plays a socially awkward small towner whose girlfriend is a life-size sex doll. One that Lars treats like a human.
Yes.
It was amazing.
It's funny because I never would have thought you would have loved that movie because it was a little weird.
It was slow, but it was
traditional.
it was weird, but it was so good, so well written. I enjoyed it a lot. Next up, you may not agree with this one, The Ides of March. George Clooney, Rosemary's nephew.
Rosemary Clooney's, yep. By the way, I've got some 78s from Rosemary Clooney that I found when I was cleaning out my grandma's house this weekend.
Well, I wanna listen to that.
Well, maybe you can send them to George.
He has them.
He directs and stars in a glossy political drama playing a presidential candidate. Ryan Gosling steals the spotlight as his junior campaign manager who gets all caught up in a political scandal.
Ooh.
He definitely outshone Clooney in that one.
That's not difficult. Clooney's not that great of an actor.
Next up, one of my favorites, The Nice Guys.
It's a good movie.
Ryan Gosling really let his comedic timing shine in The Nice Guys. His balance of sincerity and exaggeration comes into play as he plays a loser private detective in 1970s LA.
Nice. Guys.
And a lovable father to a precocious daughter. Starring opposite Russell Crowe's brooding rival turned friend, Gosling spends most of the film stumbling around, confused and drunk. It was so funny.
It's a good movie.
Next up, of course, we have Barbie. He's just Ken, man.
It was okay.
And he was spectacular. And we have Half Nelson.
Half Nelson.
Half Nelson features Ryan Gosling as a lonely, cocaine-addicted history teacher in Brooklyn.
I saw that at the Uptown.
Aspiring teacher similar to Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society, he uses unorthodox methods to better reach his students. This performance earned Gosling his first Oscar nomination.
Nice.
Then we have Blue Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams.
Yes, it does.
As a volatile couple across two timelines who actually lived together when they were actually preparing for the roles. At times funny, other times just devastating. Also Gosling first chance at singing on screen. And of course, Blade Runner 2049. Continuing the story of Harrison Ford's Rick Deckard chasing androids in dystopian Los Angeles, Gosling appears as a Nexus 9 replicant who believes Deckard is his father. Come on, Gosling and Harrison Ford together? And directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. I remember when Denis Villeneuve was undoubted.
I don't know why he isn't that. Because he hated Dune, that's why.
Because he made Dune.
He made Dune 1 and 2.
And then,
if he just would have made Dune 1 and then made something else, he could be undoubted.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's La La Land. Okay, I get it. You guys don't like musicals.
I like La La Land.
I like La La Land.
I do, and Gosling is awesome at them. Not only does he
You're
sing,
always trying to put words in our mouth, Murray.
I'm pretty sure I'm
Don't
right.
you remember when... Oh, you don't remember when Emma Stone got added. I had to watch La La Land, and it had to be a Mondo, and it was.
I don't remember that. Anyway, not only does he sing in this one, he also tap dances
Selective
and
memory.
plays piano and guitar and bass.
Yes.
He's
All
a
of that
talent.
got him another Oscar nomination and definitely helped Emma Stone get her first Best Actress Oscar. They were magical together.
They were
Magic.
Magic. Just like
And
La La.
finally,
Yes.
an action film.
Yes.
Oh.
Drive.
Drive is awesome.
Awesome movie.
Considering he barely talks in this movie, Gosling totally epitomizes cool. Simply referred to as Driver, Gosling puts in a brooding performance worthy of a standing ovation at Cannes. Stuntman by day, getaway driver by night, Gosling is macho without the sexism, even falling for his new neighbor, Irene, played by Carey Mulligan. The amazing cinematography makes Drive one hell of a ride.
Yes, indeedy.
It's a good movie.
That's all I got.
You know, all that
Yeah.
stuff that Ryan Gosling's done, it sounds like he should be undoubted.
Well, he did some stuff you probably wouldn't like, so I wouldn't presume. But anyway,
Well, we'll have to look at do a deeper dive.
I guess so. Anyway, I love the Gauze. He's awesome.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
My sweet, sweet rage. How I love you so. Okay, well, my rage this week, I don't really have a super big rage per se, other than maybe at my wife for having a panic attack
Making you miss
when
part of a
when I
movie?
missed 1/4 of a movie thanks to her panic attack. Not, you know,
Well, real life
I'm the
happens.
kind of guy that would actually just still step up to the plate, which I did, and leave one of the most important moments of my life, a movie, for my wife. So I'm not the bad guy here. I'm going to say that. I did leave. But
That's right.
she should probably know to not panic before she makes me have to race across the city. So it's not a super rage because I love my wife, but you know what? And the other rage I'm going to throw in two here, a twofer, that I did not get to see In Flames with Bryce. Because Murray would never see this because
I probably
it was
would.
all
It's
subtitles.
all subtitles.
But Bryce and I could have been in awe together with
Probably
this
would
one.
have. All right then.
Yeah, my rage is directly related to Jim's second part of his rage. It's that I didn't get to see In Flames because I was in Edmonton and
I don't know
Edmonton shows crap.
What you guys are gonna do in about 3 weeks when that movie theater closes and nobody is showing those movies anymore?
Someone's
I'm
going to
hoping
pick them
somebody's
up.
got to
You
pick
think
up the
Plaza will
baton.
pick it up? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, the Plaza is already, but they're behind. I think
They're behind. They're a month
I
behind.
think one of the other Cineplex, because they've been doing that. But the sad thing is that we would often get to see a double feature at Eau Claire because we'd probably end up having to go on a Sunday, so we'd watch
Yeah, but now they
an
have minimal
evening
staff
and a
and
late way.
they close everything down at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So, but what's going to happen now is we're going to see them on two different theaters. We're going
Yeah,
to
you
get
have to
one
drive
in one
across
part
the
of the
city.
city, and we're going to have to drive across the city.
drive
so
across the city. Yeah.
It's
There
going to
you
be
go.
sad times.
So I guess that would be part of
for
your rage
Jim and
too.
Bryce. Yeah.
Is your sort of out how art house cinema is
That's
closing in
right.
3 weeks.
Throw some more gasoline on that flame.
There you go. Okay then.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Well, we are going to be taking a bit of a break for the lists for a couple weeks because we are going to be busy with the film festival coming up. So for those of you who live in the Calgary area or have access to coming down here, check out calgaryundergroundfilm.org and check out what's playing at the film festival. It starts this Thursday. You will see Bryce and I and Murray there the entire festival. So, but the big question on everybody's lips and minds is, did Bryce get to see Full Metal Jacket?
Well, Jim, I'm going through all these. I'm up in Edmonton, going through my grandmother's house. and
Yes.
there's just piles and piles of DVDs, and my brother's like, "Oh, you got to take some DVDs." I'm like, "Dude, I got so many DVDs. I don't need any more DVDs." Of course, I came home with a few of them. But as I'm flipping through them, what do I see?
Full Metal Jacket. The
Jacket.
director's cut?
So I have every
grandma's
intention of
house?
watching it.
Nice.
Throw it on, and what is it?
Porn?
It's Mondo.
No, it's the stupid full screen version, so it's not a widescreen version. It's made for a 4:3
no.
television.
What?
So it's like I'm not watching this.
1994 called. It wants its
Exact-
TV back.
Exactly. So I'm like, no. So no, I didn't watch it because that was my opportunity and it just didn't work out. So I will be
Damn.
watching it soon, but
All right.
I would imagine sometime during the festival.
Stay
Actually, I'll have time
tuned,
to watch
people, because we just
I
need-
tried. I genuinely tried.
I know.
I
You
thought
made
this
an
is
effort.
this is glorious. It was meant to be.
It
and
was
then
meant to be.
Then I put it on and everybody's all stretched out because I'm watching it on widescreen TV when it's supposed to be 4:3.
And you
it's
can't
just
watch
like,
a Kubrick movie
There's
stretched
no,
out.
there's no way I was
No way.
doing that.
So what did your brother think of Full Metal Jacket?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. What do I
What?
care?
Why would you not ask him?
I
It's his DVD you stole.
didn't steal anything. He told me to take them.
Oh, right. Was it your grandma's?
By the way, this is what I did take. I took Man with the Screaming Brain.
Nice. It's a great movie.
I took A Serious Man.
That's also a great movie.
Edge of Sanity, because I've never heard of it. It's
I've never
Anthony
heard of it.
Perkins.
I like Anthony Perkins.
Beware the Beast Within is the tagline.
I already like it, and we should
Look.
watch that together.
Look, he looks like evil.
Oh, he's super evil.
Huh? And
Yeah.
then Youth in Revolt.
Nice.
Can't go wrong with little Michael Cera. So yeah,
And Justin Long. Isn't Justin Long also in
Justin
there?
Long is in there. Yeah.
Yes. It's a great movie, too.
Yeah.
Done.
So yeah, so I picked those up.
Winner.
He actually has a ton of good movies. I was just like, I just can't take them all. This for some reason these are the 4 I ended up with. I had a stack of about 50, and I'm like, this is stupid. So I just started putting them all back, but I just couldn't put these ones back. So
Nice.
there you go. Sorry, what were we talking about?
We were saying that when we do come back to the list, which will be in a couple weeks,
All right, I'll have
Our
a
fingers
I'll probably have
crossed
a verdict on
that
Full Metal Jacket.
Bryce and I will get to watch a Tony Perkins film that's creepy,
Yes.
and that
I'm sure we'll have time at some point.
Oh yeah, and then Bryce is going to watch Full Metal Jacket, and we'll find out if Stanley Kubrick is undoubted.
Yeah,
All right,
that's about the size of it.
it's about the size.
Last week on Rage or Dare, our troublesome duo pulled double trouble from Merman's ice creamy bucket of rage. Sounds like they may get a double scoop of trouble this week. Holy crap, that's a lot of doubles and troubles all in one place. This week, it is in fact Bryce's turn to
What?
Rage or Dare. Yes, Bryce, check the calendar, and no, it's not your turn every week, and yes, you are the biggest baby that's ever lived, and that's not just my opinion, that is actually a stated fact. Come on, Bryce. Now, let's find out if the trouble is in fact double, which it may well be since it involves the Barbarian Brothers. Or is it some other factorial of trouble that is way more compounded? For example, they say it's double, but what if in fact it's quadruple trouble? No matter what, I think it's safe to say that the trouble will not be a prime number amount of trouble. That we can be sure of. Well, boys, how much trouble are we in fact in for, since it was my understanding that there would be no math?
Yeah, double trouble. This is this is something else. Basically, you got a burglar named Peter, and it's actually the actor's named Peter too. And yeah, they are the Barbarian Brothers, Peter Paul and David Paul, and they play in the movie Peter and David.
Because
So
they're
it wasn't
such
a
bad
stretch.
actors, they
Because
couldn't.
they can't remember their
So
character's
anyways,
name.
their names.
so Peter is a criminal,
Yes.
right? And he wants to get some diamonds. And his brother David
He's a cop.
is a cop.
Wow.
I know, it's
That's
crazy.
some good writing.
It's
And they're,
double
they're
trouble.
twin brothers. Now here's the twist. Despite these guys being from completely different like the total differences between them, right?
Are huge.
They must work together
Together.
to take down Roddy McDowell, who's like a supervillain in this.
Super villain.
And you know what? It was kind of
definitely
entertaining.
It's kind of double.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, I know what I'm watching is awful. Like, I'm aware that this is awful, but it's not taking away from the enjoyment. I wasn't giddy, but I was giggling a lot. It wasn't that bad. I mean, these two are so bad. It's good. Like how these guys, I get it. They're very it's where are you going to come across twins that are like in this good a condition? And I get the fact that people wanted to make movies with these guys, but as soon as they start talking, and the thing is, you can see that they're having a good time acting. Like there's no question that these two are having a grand old time doing this movie, and it was kind of infectious. They were having such a good time that I started having a pretty good time. So, was this an awful movie?
Yes.
Absolutely, it was an awful movie. Did I really enjoy watching it? No, but I kind of enjoyed watching it. So it's not a rage. It's a low meh, and kind of an enjoyable low meh at that.
So, okay, we get two meatheads who can't act. We get Ramon, a.k.a. Radiohead from the movie True Stories.
Yes.
We got the original Scotty from Star Trek.
Oh yeah, he was terrible in this.
We got my main
James,
monkey.
what's his name?
Yeah.
McGugan or what's his name?
Whatever.
James something.
Scotty.
James.
Yeah, keep looking for it.
Doohan.
Yeah.
Doohan.
We got my main monkey man, Roddy McDowell, a.k.a. Cornelius. Yeah, with all the talent, we still have the Barbarian Brothers.
Which made it better.
Now, Scotty and Cornelius are giving Oscar-worthy performances as they act their faces off. And as
Cornelius
much as,
was. Scotty, not
as
so
much as I was hoping this was going to be so bad, it's funny, Murray.
Yes.
It's not funny.
It's funny.
It's just bad.
I giggled.
Not bad funny.
Bad funny.
So one of the brothers, the good cop,
Yes.
bad brother act, it gets really tired really quick. As one of them,
the burglar's hilarious.
It's not. The roided brothers is a cop who wears a cutoff midriff shirt.
I know.
Has a cop uniform, and the other is a thief. They have no chemistry whatsoever.
That's what's great.
And the music is awful.
The music's hilarious.
The story is idiotic. But Scotty and Cornelius were awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess by Bryce's standards, this might have made it to a meh.
It did.
But wait, just like
for me,
but just like the twins in this movie, I am the good film rage reviewer, and Bryce is the evil one. So no, this is not a
Did
meh.
you know I was gonna rate this meh?
Yes. This is a
'Cause you're
rage.
twins.
This movie's terrible.
This movie is terrible.
It's bad, terrible. It's not.
It's hilarious.
That's why it's for free on TV.
I really enjoyed it.
No.
Usually,
I did not enjoy this.
Oh, it was fun.
No.
These two cannot act.
No.
I know. That's what made
they're
it terrible.
bodybuilders.
Oh, that's what made it so good.
No. But Roddy McDowell was knocking it out of the park.
Roddy McDowell was actually pretty good. He was kind of.
He was the best monkey
Newman
man.
was not knocking it out of the park.
He's only done one role his whole life.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think he did stuff before Star
don't
Trek.
know.
Who
Yeah.
knows? Yeah. This was terrible.
I didn't hate it.
I'm getting that.
Yeah.
It was really
Okay.
bad.
Like
Whatever.
I knew that like 3 minutes into this, I was like, okay, there's no way I'm hating this, because this is already hilarious. Watching him run around with his cut off shirt and fighting crime.
Yeah.
Then his brother pops up.
The music
and
alone was enough to make this
The banter between him and his brother was so funny, because it was so. Not only is the script awful, but their delivery of the script is beyond awful, which
so
just
awful.
made it amazing.
No.
It
It
was
was so
good.
Murray. It was so bad.
It was so good.
You definitely hit the mark on this one. It was not.
I quite enjoyed it.
was-
I thank you, because I never saw this before,
Nobody saw it.
and I was like I was not looking forward to it, and then it started. I was like, holy crap! 3 minutes in, I'm like, this isn't gonna be bad at all. Like, it's gonna be, but it's gonna be entertaining, and it was.
Yeah. No.
Everybody out there, watch Double Trouble.
On
It
Tubi.
is free
And
on
it's free
Tubi,
on Tubi.
And it
Hashtag
is-
Tubi Tuesday.
and it is worth it, man. It is worth every penny.
The freeness will get you.
Freeness will get you.
So, just letting everybody know, we are going to have some additional episodes coming up within the next week, because we will be attending our favorite film festival, Calgary Underground Film Fest. So be ready for that. And we are still going to have a regular episode next Wednesday. So also get ready for that, where we will be
we?
seeing a few things. Yeah, of
Are
course.
we really?
Yeah, of course we are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I won't.
we can't be missing it. It's
doing it
it's
all.
it's Wednesday. We're doing everything. We're gonna see. I predict we're gonna
We
see
work hard
minimum,
for the money.
We may work hard for it, honey. We're going to see, I'm guessing, maybe almost 30 films next week.
No, but for the regular
or
Wednesday
take.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
think
see.
there's.
We're
I think
still
there's-
watching new releases.
I think there's 4 new releases we'll get to see as well.
Yeah.
If we're
We're
lucky.
on it.
Well, I'm not.
If we're lucky. Well, you're working, so you can't.
Exactly.
But be ready.
All right then.
So
It's
apparently,
coming.
am I still picking out a movie here?
No, Yeah, we'll pick
don't
one.
Don't I pick it so that I
Yeah,
have
sure.
it?
Go ahead.
I kind of want to pick it so that if I
Sure.
got some time, I could watch it.
Okay, whatever.
Even if you don't want to do it next
You want
week,
to
which
pick
I don't,
from this
I don't know. Why
juicy
wouldn't
full
you do-
bag here? Or
I don't know why we wouldn't do it this week.
You want to? Here you go. Choose from that.
What?
Well, this is your bag.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Was
It's
this
fresh.
what I had to choose from?
You can choose whatever, but it's the closest bag to you, so you just take it.
All right, I'll take it. I don't care. It's coming from you. You'd have no idea what I like. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I thought you would give double trouble in there.
I don't even know what this is. This isn't a movie.
Yeah, it's totally a movie.
No,
Sure it
it's
is.
not a movie.
What's it called?
What's it
It's called Cosmic Sin. I've never heard of it. It's not a
Oh,
movie.
you're in for a treat then.
Number one, I don't think it's a movie. Number
Yep.
two, I don't think it had a theatrical release.
And it's got Bruce Willis.
There's no way that this was released in a theater.
It has a gross worldwide U.S. gross of $349,000. Eat it. I think I know you pretty well. And FYI, I have seen this.
What in the hell is this? Is this a science fiction movie?
Probably.
Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo star in the new epic sci-fi adventure set in the year 2520. No.
This is going to be great. I can't wait for you to see this.
So this takes place 500 years from now.
Yeah. So get
That's what
Frozen.
Sci-fi future means.
That's right. It's your favorite genre with
All
your
right.
favorite actor.
Okay, that might not be
All
bad.
right. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the god of rage, our own nerdy photographer, for the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We're always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.